his nose pressed into the curve of my neck, the rise and fall of his chest gone ragged. Every muscle in his body was locked. Fighting sheets were a ruined mess, the air thick with pheromones turning to steam. As the 12th round broke, I collapsed into the mattress. The heat wave inside me only receded an inch before churning all over again. I slid my fingers down my boyfriend's sweat-slicked abs. An unadulterated invitation, but he was clearly broken. Face pale, he flinched away.
That's 12 times, Luca.
He gasped, legs trembling.
I have to work tomorrow. I really can't.
He scrambled into his jeans and fled the apartment. Minutes later, my phone lit up. Luca, I'm actually more into a spiritual connection. I don't feel that with you. Let's break up. Let's break up. Spiritual level my ass. By the next afternoon, he'd posted a beach photo with a new Omega, a textbook carnivore in bed. It proved only one thing. He hadn't found God. He'd just gone completely impotent in the face of my storm. After 4 exes, I finally faced reality. Average men cannot satisfy an insatiable Omega like me. I just needed someone who was also a lot. Then I turned on the news.
Mr. Dorian Holt, CEO of Holt Industries and confirmed Alpha, has announced an Omega bonding lottery. Mr. Holt is widely reported to suffer from severe Pheromone Rage Disorder. 3 previous Omega partners have died under unexplained circumstances.
I muted the TV. The heat inside me flared so violently I had to sit down. I stared at Dorian Holt's picture, licking my dry lips.
Dorian Holt is mine.
In this world, Alpha, Beta, and Omega determine the food chain. A modern human society, yet 12% of our population is still trapped in this gene-driven game of hunting and mating. Alphas are the apex predators. The pheromones they release during arousal or rage act as an invisible chokehold, intense, powerful, and capable of manifesting as an absolute authority that instantly turns everyone's knees to jelly. Omegas are the bait. Hidden beneath the skin at the back of our necks is an incredibly sensitive cell gland. And once heat hits, the body launches a total coup against the brain. The gland pumps out sweet, viscous pheromones that hook straight into an alpha's nasal passages, triggering their most primal urge to possess. In those moments, an Omega is flush with heat and weak in the knees, incapable of any thought other than being pinned down and thoroughly claimed by an alpha. As for the betas, they are the ordinary lucky majority. They can't smell any of this lethal air pollution, and they rely on standard suppressants to flatten any physiological impulses, watching the chaos unfold from a safe distance. And I clearly do not belong to that lucky majority. I was born an insatiable Omega with a sky-high sex drive. My pheromones are a perpetual forest fire, scorching and suffocating. Ordinary alphas simply don't have the capacity to handle me. They only end up completely drained before running for their lives with pathetic excuses, just like that wimp last night. Now I was watching the TV. 3 dead Omegas. PRD. A man so dangerous they put public warnings on the evening news. I was already leaning back against the headboard, my laptop clicking open. My best friend, Riley, happened to walk in carrying a tea tray. He took one look at my face, and the tray hit the floor with a resounding crash.
Luca! No! Absolutely not!
Danny, trailing right behind him, his voice already cracking.
Baby, I am begging you to close the laptop. Name a number. I will pay you.
I stared intently at the man on screen, the one they call the living weapon. The heat wave inside me was roaring, sending a single, unmistakable command to my brain.
He's the one.
Ignoring my 2 best friends' desperate pleading, I was already typing into Google how to rig a high-profile lottery drawing system.
The Meridian Grand Ballroom looked like a funeral with chandeliers. 200 Omegas, all eligible, all pale. One of them was openly crying into a champagne flute. Another had brought a priest. I wore cream silk, unbuttoned 1 extra button, maybe 2. Riley was clamped to my left elbow, Danny to my right. Both of them had the expression of men attending a funeral they tried to prevent.
Sweetheart, it is not too late. We can leave through the kitchen.
Riley, you're crushing the fabric. I have the car running, I'm just saying.
Then the room went quiet. Dorian Holt walked in. Photos do not prepare you. He moved through the crowd like cold weather. Black suit, no tie, jaw set like he was already bored of being alive. Every Omega in the room flinched as he passed. I felt my heat lift its head like a dog hearing a key in the door. He took the aisle toward the stage. I shook off Riley and Danny and stepped sideways. Calculated. 2 steps in front of him. Pivot. Trip. Fall forward into approximately 6 feet 3 inches of alpha chest. He sidestepped. I face-planted on the stage. Someone in the front row laughed. A sharp, expensive male laugh. Simon Voss. I knew the voice from gossip columns alone.
Oh dear. Is that Luca Bellally? Bold of him to show up. Desperate times, I suppose.
I picked myself up, smiled at him, filed his face away under things I would eventually destroy. The drum spun, 200 numbered balls. I had paid the technician's mortgage for the next 4 years. The red ball rolled into my palm like it had been waiting. Number 47. I gasped, a muffled sob of relief from somewhere in the back. I held the ball up like a trophy. Then Marcus Webb, Dorian's assistant, neat suit, neater haircut, stepped to the mic.
A correction to the program. Mr. Holt has revised the terms. The selected Omega will not enter a bonding contract. They will serve a 3-month probationary appointment as Mr. Holt's executive personal assistant.
Silence. Then a tidal wave of relieved laughter from every Omega who had lost. Dorian was already walking out. He hadn't looked at me once. I stared at his back.
Fine. An office is just a bed with a desk. I'll work with what I've got.
Holt Industries, 47th floor. I wore a shirt one size too small and trousers that were essentially a suggestion. The elevator opened onto a marble lobby and onto Simon Voss, leaning on the reception counter like he owned the air.
Oh, the lottery boy.
Director Voss, love the blazer.
Coffee. Mr. Holt takes it black. Don't spill it.
Cute. He thought he was setting a trap. I took the coffee. I added my own ingredient, a personal mission. Dorian's office was glass on 3 sides and ice on the 4th. He was at the desk, not looking up. I set the folder down, let 3 pages slide off the edge, crouched to pick them up, slowly, adjusted my weight so the trouser seam pulled exactly where the seam was supposed to pull. Dorian, without raising his eyes.
Is your heat starting, Mr. Bellerman?
Flat, clinical, like he was asking if it might rain. I straightened, picked up the coffee, walked around the desk, tripped on absolutely nothing. The coffee landed in his lap.
Oh my god, I am so sorry.
I had a napkin out in half a second. My hand went exactly where I wanted it to go. I didn't just dab. I let my palm press flat against the soaked, steaming fabric of his trousers, dragging the linen napkin slow and firm up the inside of his thigh. The fabric was scorching hot. The skin beneath it was already hardening, radiating a fierce, dangerous heat of its own. He was not unaffected. I let my knuckles deliberately brush against the heavy, rigid length straining beneath the wet wool, feeling the sudden, violent hitch in his breathing. Whatever he was telling his face, his body had not gotten the memo. I dabbed. I smiled, looking up at him through my lashes with pure malice and desire. His hand snapped around my wrist. The bones in my arm made a small, panicked noise.
Director Voss, get in here.
The door slid open, and Simon stepped in with a smug smile.
Did you order Mr. Belmont to bring this coffee?
Terminated. Effective now.
Simon's grin froze. Before he could utter a word, Dorian's icy glare forced him to turn on his heel and flee. Then he released me. The room emptied in under a minute. Just the 2 of us. His suit was ruined. His eyes had gone darker than the coffee.
Luca Bellamy. Touch me again and I guarantee you will regret it.
He meant it as a threat. My heat read it as a promise. I licked coffee off my thumb and held his gaze.
Noted, sir.
Black tie, charity gala. The Holt Industries car had soft leather and a partition. I leaned. Dorian shoved me upright without looking.
Sit on your own side, Mr. Bellerman.
The seat is heated. I was sharing the warmth.
He ignored me. In the ballroom, I started to notice it. The signs. His pupils were too wide for the light. A sheen of sweat at his temple. And underneath the expensive cologne, something else. Sharp, metallic, electric, like ozone before a storm. PRD pheromones. Bleeding through the suppressants. My own heat answered before my brain did. My knees softened. The scent gland at the side of my neck pulsed once, like a second heartbeat. I caught his elbow.
Upstairs. Now.
For the first time all night, he didn't argue. The elevator doors closed, and he was on me. Not kissing. Pinning. His nose pressed into the curve of my neck. The rise and fall of his chest gone ragged. Every muscle in his body was locked, fighting something. Then he tore himself off the wall and hit the emergency stop.
Stairs.
He took 14 flights. I took the elevator the rest of the way, but he still beat me there. Penthouse suite. The shower was already running. He was in the tub, suit on, cold water hammering down. His hands shook against the tile. I turned the water off. I reached for his collar. His hand was around my throat before I finished the motion. He yanked me into the tub, slammed me down. We were chest to chest, soaking, his weight pinning my hips, every inch of him burning through wet wool. A second passed. 2. His mouth was an inch from mine. Then he reached past me, pulled a preloaded syringe from a leather case on the tub edge, and stabbed the suppressant straight into his own thigh. The fire in his eyes dropped 2 degrees. He climbed off me, threw a bathrobe at my face.
Get out.
I wrapped the bathrobe around myself, dripping, trembling, furious.
Dorian Holt, I swear on every heat I have ever survived, I will outlast your suppressors.
I'm petty. I admit it freely. I bribed a server $800 for his uniform and his ID badge. He retired to the kitchen and ate shrimp. Downstairs, the ballroom had transitioned to the auction. 300 socialites at round tables, a stage with a podium, soft jazz, the soft scent of money laundering itself in real time. Dorian was at the front table, spine like a steel rod. The suppressant was already wearing off. I could see it in the way his jaw worked when he thought no one was looking. I picked up a tray of champagne and drifted into his blind side. The metallic edge of his pheromones touched the back of my tongue. My heat answered with a slow, full-body pull. The lights dimmed for a presentation slide. A spotlight hit the stage. Every face in the room turned away from the tables. I moved. An ice cube, palmed from a champagne bucket, landed precisely on the inside of Dorian's thigh, just above the knee. Under my breath, just loud enough for him alone.
Sorry, sir. Let me get that.
I slid under the tablecloth. Black silk, knees, polished Oxford shoes. The smell of him concentrated under here was a religious experience. Above me, the auctioneer's voice rolled on through hidden speakers.
And now, Lot 14, a private weekend at the Cap d'Antibes.
A hand, locking around the back of my neck. Iron grip, not pulling me out, holding me in place. I looked up. Dorian's face was directly above mine on the other side of the table edge, lit from below by the candles. His expression was carved out of nothing. His eyes were screaming. I smiled at him. His grip tightened by a single millimeter. A warning, or an invitation. The line had stopped being a line about 3 minutes ago. The auctioneer's voice came again, closer this time, amplified through the lapel mic clipped to Dorian's jacket.
Mr. Holt, care to open the bidding?
Dorian's hand on my neck did not move. The room waited for his answer. I waited too. Then, very slowly, I parted my lips.